Anyway,
Yep,
no attorney.
I was gonna say,
Calling Benton City Council meeting to order. November 5th, 2024. We'll begin by a roll call.
Councilwoman Wadsworth.
here,
Councilman Sandretto.
Here.
Councilman Reed.
Here.
Councilwoman Alcazar.
here,
Councilman Valencia.
Here.
Okay. Pledge of Allegiance. Veronica, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Good. Any discussion on the consent agenda?
No. I don't think so. Anybody?
None.
Motion to approve consent agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Sandra, do I?
Wadsworth, I.
Reed, aye.
Alcazar, I.
Valencia, aye.
Motion passes. We have we have an approval of a ordinance resolution 202472 to waive competitive bid requirements for a telemetry control panel with totally.
That was part of the consent agenda.
What?
That was part of the consent agenda.
What's that?
Yes.
Yes, you're right.
Okay.
Okay, approval of the agenda.
Mr. Mayor, if I could, I'd like to try, add a item, a moratorium for, let me go ahead and read it. I'd like to add consideration under items for approval, consideration of a resolution implementing a new moratorium for acceptance of applications for development of any property located within the city's current floodway B zone adjacent to and in proximity to FEMA 100-year floodplain.
Okay. The other item came in late is we have a contract for an interim hearing examiner on a dog issue. There'll also be on discussion on at the end of the on our unfinished business.
So yours is a approval item,
It is.
so we need to put that
I too, right.
two,
I do.
okay? And discussion. Items under new business, probably K.
BI, right, budget's there at Kyle Spies. We get a request from Kyle Spies on budget.
Yes, it's at the end of
Okay.
the budget.
So it
that's in
would
there.
be 3. And then the contract would be 4.
Kyle's budget request is at it's under J, under unfinished business, because he's
Okay.
bringing it down.
Good. Any visitor comments?
We have to approve that agenda.
Okay.
I move
I'll
to,
skip that.
I move to approve the November 5th, 2024 Benton City Council agenda as amended.
Second,
All in favor?
Sandra, do I?
Wadsworth, I.
Reed, aye.
Alcazar, I.
Valencia,
I know of no proclamations or announcements. Do we have any visitors who would like to make comment to the council? Okay, come up here, state your name and
Hi, I'm Tracy Howell, born and
go ahead and
raised,
sit down and be fine.
born and raised here. I rented the community center on October 19th. And when I brought the key back in, I was told that my deposit was forfeited because I brought the key instead of putting it in the box. I explained them, tried to be nice. I've got a business here in town. Every year we use that facility and never once have I had this problem with this. It's because I brought it, I took pictures. Connie Prawl had noticed some graffiti on the back of the building on the door. So I made sure to bring the pictures, my checklist form down here. And at that point, I was told it was maintenance policy that I forfeited it. And I said, I do not see that on the checklist. And was told that it's there. There was a looking at it. We discovered it was not there on the checklist. It was in the contract, which I didn't pay no attention to. I've rented that building several times. It's rented for our business to put on a annual haunted house every year.
Mhm.
I do a lot for the community. So when I was told that, didn't know if I had it Sunday, I said, well, I did not have it Sunday. Well, we do not know that. I said, well, give me back the key. I'll walk it back across the street for $200. Well, I can't do that. So I forfeited. I don't agree with it. Later received a phone call saying it is in the contract, which it is. And my bad, it is in the contract on the back page. Now there's 15 ways on how to stack chairs inside that building. How to use a mop bucket. The chairs were stacked wrong. We unloaded them, put them back on. I made sure we dumped every garbage can outside, which is not part of the contract. I left that building in a lot better place than when we found it. There's one checkbox there. I don't want to get nobody in trouble. I have no problems with any of the maintenance, anything like that in the city, but there was a box there and I just left it blank. I didn't mark yes, no on it. Because the front of it, where you walk in, you do open the door, dirt, leaves, all that stuff. I had to clean it before I could put my family reunion on. And for me not to get a deposit of $200 back, it cost me $450 to rent that building, is a little steep. I don't know who else this has been done to, but if you're going to put chair signs on top of the chairs in every closet, which way to stack a table, maybe by the exit or on the checklist form, maybe add return key to box. I mean, there's plenty of sticky notes all over in each of those rooms. My sister cleaned the bathroom. I did not know it was back there. And we left that facility very good. All the exterior garbage cans cleaned. And I brought pictures of the graffiti so I could offer to paint that because I love our little town. I am at all the community events. I don't know how many, I know you two volunteer on a fire department, but I don't know who else shows up to these events. My name's not on a list because I think it takes a lot of people to make the city work. And I'm just disgusted that I have to pay or forfeit $200. If you don't give it back to me, put it on the checklist. So the future community members that are renting that, which was built by community members, make sure they get it. All of my years of having a business here and can't be guaranteed that I didn't use that building on Sunday. Well, if that's, and I asked specifically, did somebody go check that Sunday? Not acknowledged. Did somebody go check it this morning? Not acknowledged.
What's your phone number? And I'll get back to you this week.
509
I'm not aware of this, so.
509 948 3148.
3148.
Yes, and it's
Okay.
Tracy.
All
I'm one of the co-owners down here at Heritage,
Okay, thank you.
but yeah, I just don't understand. And I hate to see, if it's not my $200 come back to me, make sure it doesn't happen to anybody else in our community.
Good.
Because that's not right.
Good.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for,
Thank you.
thank you. Thank you. Staff reports, treasurer's report is in the agenda. Council committee meeting reports.
I had one. I attended a Benton County Mosquito Control Board meeting last Monday. Obviously, it's getting towards definitely towards the end of their season. They're working on putting in orders for next year and kind of getting a path forward. They are tracking some mosquitoes that are coming up from California up to the bottom part of Oregon. They're keeping close tabs on that. So that's pretty much it for them.
Well, it's lovely news.
I went to the irrigation meeting. That was on October 23rd. We had moved it. Normally it's the third Wednesday of the month, but it had gotten moved to the fourth. Shutdown went well. they found out that they have some equipment that needs to be replaced. But they have also been approached about a government grant that it looks like they're gonna qualify for, so hopefully they're gonna be able to get that and that will cover the equipment that needs to be replaced. Then they do have trail cams set up because they have had people vandalizing up on their trails, the signs and all. And there's gonna be notification right directly onto the cell phone, when someone's up there messing around where they shouldn't be. But other than that, looking forward to some quiet months now with the irrigation off and get things redone that couldn't be done when the irrigation was up and running.
I did remember since the last time we met that I went to Good Roads. We did get our pedestrian crossings put on the lobbying list again on that. And some of the major projects that got put at the top of the list, was Road 76 overpass. And finishing of Highway 12 in Walla Walla, so. But that's all I have to report out of that meeting.
Awesome.
Nothing new to report.
Reports, okay, thank you. No public hearings, we have a new city general clerk we'd like to introduce. You want to come up here, Veronica, please? Veronica's applied to be the new general clerk and subject to council approval, she's taking Cassie's place, who resigned. Any questions, comments, questions for Veronica?
Are you ready to curtsy when he walks in the office? Sure. I'm kidding, you don't have to.
No, we appreciate you. He has taken a chance on us and working for the city, so thank you.
She has considerable experience. She comes from the school district.
No,
No,
just
okay. I got
the
messed
heating
up.
and air.
Right,
company.
okay.
Who was that?
Rogers. She did go to high school at Camican though.
Okay,
Did you know?
Dirty,
her?
they like
Just-
you.
Did you already look her up? Is that what?
It's in our packet.
Okay, I missed it.
Of course I overlooked it. You always want to look over who.
Move to approve of the confirmation of Veronica Vowles for the general clerk's position.
Second,
all in favor?
Jen Red.
Wadsworth, I.
Reed, I.
Alcazar, I.
Welcome.
Jose,
Okay, see you tomorrow.
thank you. Thank you, Veronica.
Valencia, sorry about that. The signal.
Thank you. Unfinished items, we have the budget. The budget is balanced. There's a paper copy there. I don't know if there's any questions on that.
Mayor, I think we skipped the added item. Moratorium.
Yeah,
Oh, I thought that was.
it's
second
under
one,
I2.
Two.
I do.
two.
Yeah, items for approval.
Okay.
Permission to approach, Your Honor.
You got a bow.
That's very good, Eric.
only got yelled at once for that.
That-
By who?
Walk up to
Sherry or your wife?
Exactly, good point. All right, so what we have here is an item that is contemplating, I know it's kind of tough to kind of read on the fly here, but essentially I'll let the mayor kind of fill in the gap, and if George wants to talk
Oh,
about kind of
Thank
the
you.
concepts of what we're
Okay.
trying to do here.
Some of the context of it, and this is communications with FEMA. And I'll just share some of the comments from FEMA. It's great to hear that you're looking at using the draft flood maps as the best available science and thinking about current known hazards as opposed to what was the best available science when the effective maps were issued. I think that draft flood maps are probably the easiest to defend to permit applicants as the best available science referred to by that part of local flood safety code. We strongly support that strategy and agree with Sandra Floyd is Department of Ecology that we work with. But I'd go a step further and offer the following arguments to consider as you decide whether or not to regulate to the draft flood maps, which is technically not required, which is heavily indicated as appropriate by the National Flood Insurance Plan standards and purpose. You've seen the draft maps and you know that the actual risk, allowing people to build in a way that assumes the four lower risks depicted in the 1079 maps is contrary to the spirit of this program. A participating community commits to ensuring that all developments it allows is reasonably safe from flooding, using the 1979 maps instead of the draft maps to determine flood risk does not meet this standard. It is especially problematic to allow any developments in the proposed floodway without requiring the H&H analysis, which is a no-rise analysis that would be mandatory once the draft flood maps become effective. This happens a lot in situations like yours. Draft maps come out showing a new floodway, so developers rush to get in their applications before they become effective. But anything that is placed in the floodway is likely to change the calculated flood risk, which is based on the flood study conducted before this development occurred. Allowing this without requiring the H&H and following the map updates process for proposed rise in the base flood elevation or change to the floodway effectively renders the brand new maps inaccurate before they have become effective, casting into serious doubt whether they reflect the actual flood risk. These developments could impact the flood risk in other areas of the community and affect the safety of other people on property in ways that would not be reflected in the maps. In effect, you're allowing the short-term desires of a few developers to cause unknown risks to others and to mess up the maps that may be the best tool for communicating flood risk in your community. The other risk is we've already used up our elevation allowance that we're allowed. So anything built there has to be going forward in building there, when building is allowed, will have to be a no-rise building. In other words, they'll have to build so that there's no rise. Now, we've had one developer come in, Paul Lever, what's his name? Leverett, last name? Right.
We know who you're talking about.
He has agreed. He's given us a complete application, before we've started on this and with everything. And he has agreed the houses he's going to build on Carroll will comply with the standards of the new draft flood maps. In other words, he's going to raise them up, vent them, and comply with the no-rise analysis for building there. If we have builders that opt to build and not follow the guideline, we can increase our flood area and actually jeopardize the draft map, ending up with potential of a new draft map being issued. So these are the risks. And the other challenge we have from George's side and from Zach's side is understanding all the compliance requirements for anybody to build in the flood area. And that hence the reason why we're looking at having a moratorium there until we can figure things out.
That it?
Okay, questions?
How long are we thinking this is gonna be put in
No,
place?
it can't be in place any more than 6 months.
And if it's not resolved by then what's the action?
The action would be, if we don't have it figured out by then, we would have to allow building to go ahead or implement another moratorium. And even by then, the draft floodplain may be implemented by then.
So you can extend every, there's kind of an odd, it's an odd statute where the moratorium, you can go in 6-month increments.
Mhm.
Or you can do your initial one for a year, but you have to adopt a work plan when you adopt it. So obviously, we don't have a work plan because we don't know exactly what we're going to need to do for the work if when the FEMA map comes out. But so we can take it in 6-month increments, and you're always allowed to stop it early if you want at any time. So you can pull it at any time.
I guess my question would be, are we thinking that we're gonna be able to have this accomplished within 6 months?
I don't know. I hope so.
Mhm.
I hope so.
I
We're
heard
counting
that.
on FEMA, I think, at this
Yeah.
point. So
You know,
I think that's the idea is that they would have if you look there on section 1 findings where it says here, based on, this is what you would essentially be finding tonight if you decided to pass it. Based on the above recitals, the city council finds that a moratorium should be established for an initial period of 6 months to allow the city to respond to and address those areas within the city's current floodway B zone affected by FEMA 100-year floodplain map changes and develop requirements for reasonable availability of federal flood mortgage insurance. So in 6 months, you should know more than you know now. And then you can decide then if you want, if you need more time or if you don't, and you're ready to let it lapse, or you could pull it early. But there's all kinds of ways you can go. But this just makes sure that anybody who would try to apply in that zone B would, even if they had a complete application with the fee, if they applied, they would vest, right? That's the whole key with the moratorium statute, is that it allows, because we have such a strong vesting case law in Washington State. It really is kind of a unique tool that you can use to make sure that folks can't just come in and vest and then have those same requirements for the life of the project. So, or until their application would expire, which is 5 years for plats, I think. And
the elevation changes in a lot of the flood area, they have raised because of our prior building and everything that's taken place over the years. Most of the area in the from the 1079 map to the current draft map has an increased depth of water of 5 feet. Yes.
Jenny with Benton City. I just wanted to ask a question for clarification, because our last moratorium, we were put a hold on building as well, but there was a little caveat to that, right? So anything that had been short platted or subdivided in the past was allowed to build on. Is that in this one as well?
Nope.
Okay, I just want
Yeah,
to.
this is
Okay.
blanket hold on this area.
Okay.
So you wouldn't, there
Yeah,
wouldn't
so
be,
there-
there was those exceptions to the
There
last one.
was. Okay, thanks.
That's y'all's call. Obviously, I just work here.
Give you 6 months. Motion to approve resolution number 2024-73. Resolution implementing a new moratorium or acceptance of application on development of properties located in the city's current floodway B zone.
I second.
All in favor?
Sandra, do I?
Wadsworth, I.
Great eye.
Akasar, I.
Valencia, I.
Motion passes. So what was next on the other
Then
finished business? Was it?
We're the budget. We're
Let's
on-
go to
Yeah,
budget next, and then we'll go to the contract. Any questions on the budget?
I just got it, so I can't give you any questions.
Okay. It
Well,
is
we-
balanced. Now, that first line, to answer your questions from the last meeting, researching it, we can't not, Springbrook does not allow us to go back and change any prior year. The best information we can ascertain is that prior, because we went through so many clerks, some of the clerks inadvertently entered grant funds that were not necessarily received into cash flow or the cash coming into the city. and those are carrying forward in that upper bounce, but the budget is balanced, is totally balanced.
We did take out any grants that we are not awarded, that has not been awarded, is not in this budget. If we get awarded, we will amend it, put it in, and then put it towards whatever project. But to just go in and put it in there because, oh, we might get it, that doesn't work, because that's what has happened. And then they didn't take it out. And so we have these amounts rolling over every year that were not there.
So did we contact them and ask them about grant
They-
stuff and all that?
I did, and they said that their grant program is not for cities to use, it's for like the Department of Commerce or something like that. But they said there is a jobs and something that we can utilize. So we had them turn that on because it wasn't on our computers. And Sherry has been, like, we just got a brand new grant, so she started with that one, and she says, hey, this is gonna work because we can track the contractor, your main contractor through it, and you can track all the funds through it and whatnot. So we are utilizing that and implementing that with our grants, so they are easier to track.
Okay. And was there any other questions that you guys needed answered that you asked them about, or?
No,
That's all I want to know is that we're taking advantage of.
yeah, we do. So last year, because Sherry and I asked them repeatedly, hey, will you come in and help us? Come in-house. They will not do that. They will work with you online. They will walk you through stuff, or they just fix it and you have no idea where they're at. Or they send you to their community forum to look things up and whatnot. The person we had helping us last year, he literally was like the head of their fraud department or something, but he literally helped us get through a whole lot of it. And he said, okay, I can't open up previous years that are closed. You cannot go back and open those up. But you guys are good through, from that year all the way through. He went through all of that, checked it all, but they will not come in-house and
That's
do any
fine.
training. It's all, you go through their community forum or you call them for assistance, which is fine, which they are very helpful. But we're getting it, we've got it figured out. There's just a lot of cleanup to do, and which we have cleaned up tons of stuff. Sherry has worked her hind end off on it. And I think we're pretty well there. And I think not putting grants in that you don't have makes a huge difference, because it's like, you don't have it. So
No,
why would
right.
you, it's like, why would you put it in there? But that's what they were doing, but then they wouldn't take it out if they didn't receive it. So anyway, we took them out.
Okay.
And so your budget is balanced, and so that's where that's at.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll try and review it by the next meeting.
How much is it different than what you put in the agenda, the packet?
What you have right here,
Yeah.
it's the same thing.
It's the same, the
It's the
printout's the
exact
same as
same
the
thing.
packet.
Oh, okay.
So
I thought I was under the impression, because you wanted to look at, that was different in the agenda than, or in the packet than what
no,
been presented to us
no,
tonight.
it's the exact same thing.
Gotcha, okay.
So, yeah, if you guys are good with it, then we'll put it all together and present it at the next.
I'm
Okay.
I'm comfortable with moving ahead, because I looked it over, but
Well, we can tonight anyway. The discussion.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just a
it's
discussion.
a Discussion
Oh,
to make
gotcha.
sure you guys didn't have any questions. So if you
Perfect.
had looked at it previously and said, okay, why is this or that? Then we could turn around and make any changes that you needed. I do know at the very end of this budget thing, which I don't, you don't have it, but, is Kyle's stuff that you
Yeah.
requested.
Oh,
So he had,
Was he not coming?
maybe, I don't know. I thought he was going to make it, but, I don't know. I do think that we've got him on as, or he had been on as being paid hourly. I really don't think he's an employee. I mean, he's not an employee. He should be contracted for these services. So if his wife is the one running it, or he's the one running it,
It's covered.
I mean, maybe he'll work 2 hours a month, sometimes more. I just don't feel that he should be listed as an employee because he really is not.
We don't control hours. We don't, if we have an events employee that obligates the city of a lot of other aspects too. So 1099 is the best option, and that's based on legal counsel's advice too.
I think we're up to 10 different taxes that you have to take out of the check now.
Right.
With long-term PMFL, all the different ones, but the only other thing Carly, I don't know if this is the right time to mention it, but we will get to do our annual brush with death that I like to refer to as our ad valorem tax, because as usual, we're getting information late from the county. It can't be helped. We're still trying to find out correct me if I'm wrong here, Carla, but my understanding is that we're still trying to get some data about new construction. That's the holdup, and we're still waiting for that information.
Hank,
We got,
the last one I got from the county was Friday.
oh, good.
Yeah.
I only
And-
say it's a brush with death because we meet twice a month, and you have to adopt the ordinance by the 30th. We have 2 readings, so we get put in a box here because we usually don't get the data from the county until after this meeting usually, so we can't do our first reading. So we'll do an emergency resolution, 2 readings, our typical end of the year
Yeah.
festivities. So,
Yeah, we're, but by the end of November.
right.
We are asking for bank capacity. So it is raising it some, in which I've gotten it all to the law firm to put that ordinance together
Yeah.
and put that all in there. And then I was requesting that we do an emergency reading on it also, so we can get it to the county in time. So.
Sounds good.
We'll bring the budget back to the next meeting. We have a agreement or a contract for a hearing examiner for a one-time hearing on an issue that we've been dealing with for some time regarding a dog. You want to share on this anything, Jenny?
So part of our code is for Benton City is requiring a hearing examiner. So our residents have the right to appeal to items. I declared a dog last year that had killed another dog. It attacked another dog this year, so I impounded it. The person is appealing, as well as I appealed to a hearing examiner to determine whether the dog needed to be destroyed or not. So that's where we're at with this. We need that hearing examiner to hear this case, so we can figure out what we're doing.
And this is kind of a stopgap. We're kind of having to scramble here. Our old hearing examiner hasn't been utilized in years. And so then when we tried to dust that off, Mike Rio, he's the prosecutor for Pasco, Richland, and a few other places, but his outfit, but he's got somebody that can has some bandwidth that they can take the role on. But we need somebody right away for this particular hearing. And Miss Carrier is she does the impound and the dangerous dog hearings for Pasco. So we were able to reach out to her and excuse me, and have her be able to try to help us on an on-call basis for this kind of one-off situation. But we should have somebody that can help us because we really need a hearing examiner, not just for dog stuff, but we really need it for code enforcement.
It covers all kinds of stuff, all the way from violations of yard sale permits to dog declarations. It's a
Right.
huge part of our code, actually, so.
Hopefully we have a contract, what, next council meeting?
Yep.
Okay. Any questions? Nope.
Any motions?
Don't need to.
I,
Do we?
discussion on them. I don't think we can motion on.
You don't need to. It's under your spending limit.
Okay,
Yeah, so it's just an
we
information.
don't
item.
need them, okay, okay.
The real one will be coming to you though, because
Oh,
that'll
the
be
other one, okay,
the long term. I should say.
okay.
Uh-huh.
They're all.
Okay, new business. We went to an IACC meeting. Is Nathan on with us or
I am in his place.
you're gonna be Nathan
I'm
tonight?
gonna be Nathan. Gotta bear
Okay.
with me.
With the B team.
Yeah.
But we're gonna discuss what we found in the last sewer scan, a little bit what we found in our AIACC meeting.
Better share the screen.
Sure.
That, hit share. Up there?
You're up there. We're seeing a bunch of things.
Okay, so we went to the IACC conference, and that is a conference where all the funding agencies come together. And so we went up and presented the sewer relining project. Okay. So the project history. So Benton City's wastewater collection system is a portion of gravity lines, majority of which are concrete pipes installed before 1970. And here on the bottom right, let me blow that up.
You
It's
don't
just a
have
white
any
screen.
pictures up there.
Still white.
Really?
You broke it.
I guess so.
You didn't share the screen with the document, or you didn't share the document, or what's the deal?
Do you need help?
Go back. Guess I need to make sure this is open first.
Sounds like there's a meeting outside too. Sounds more entertaining out there.
Ring in what's the last minute?
Well, maybe I did somebody to help me here. Okay, get up there.
There
we go.
Okay, all right. Yep.
Gee.
You got the B team. So, the photo on the bottom right, that is, one of the sewer lines.
This is from the scan we did
Yes,
2 weeks ago, or 3 weeks. 2.5
yeah, 3 weeks ago, excuse me. And in here you can see all these white spots. Those are rock and concrete, and typically in a concrete, if you look at a sidewalk, this would normally be all gray, no little white spots, so that's showing the deterioration of the sewer line. So we started this relining project back in 2015. We did evaluations of some of the sewer lines in town. We began with the areas that were problem areas for the maintenance crew. And at that time,
the city had committed between $100,000 to $120,000 annually to start relining the sewer lines. In 2016, we did 80 sewer runs. And those videos showed some areas that actually had broken or damaged pipes. And so in that year, the city spent $85,000 to fix those broken areas. And as we started moving through, getting ready for the next year, we're actually doing the lift station 4 and force main upgrades. And as part of that, lift station number 6, which is out in front of Babs, or on Babs Avenue in front of Dollar General. It was determined at that time to revamp that one also. We were going to just make a couple of repairs, but those are just kind of putting a Band-Aid on. So we used any available money, which included sewer relining, to upgrade that lift station. And so that took several years of the relining budget to do that. So everything was put on hold. And so in 2023, we've started to discuss the relining again, the need for it. And part of that came about when we did the sewer line from 9th Street to 7th Street, and some of the condition of the existing pipe we were trying to connect to. Every time they dig in to try to find a piece of pipe to connect to, the pipe would just fall apart. And so we're like, we need to address some issues before we have sewer lines just collapsing in place. So we did some additional sewer line cleaning and inspection. And we put in an application to Department of Ecology for $1.5 million for sewer relining. That was before we had all the additional information from the videos. And so we presented this to the tech team meeting, which included Department of Ecology,
USDA,
rural
TIPS,
community
no,
assistance,
what's the other one?
the Public Works Board,
Commerce.
Yep. And so we were discussing this, and Ecology said they'll send back the application, and that we should increase the dollar amount. So just last Friday, Nathan did that. He increased the budget to $2.5 million. And so with that, we're going to, one, look at what Ecology is going to offer, and then based on that, look at other funding availability from different agencies. See if we can't get more grant than loan. So we have the lines in blue, the dark blue, are some of the problem area lines that we've applied for. So this is the kind of the north end of town. This is the central part of town. And here's the south part of town. So, and here are some pictures of some of the current conditions. This one, it doesn't show it real clear right now. It's like up here, but in this area right here, that is a large opening in the side wall, probably about 3 inches wide, probably at least a foot long. This one on the bottom right, this is a blockage. We're not sure if it's the pipe broken through and things have come in, or if it's a root ball. But we have that issue. Here's roots And you can see the roots coming in. I believe this one is on the alley between 8th or to the west of or east of 9th. And it goes north from essentially the tire factory. That was called Tire Factory now?
Mhm.
Like what?
Tire Center.
Tire Center. But they tried to go through from both ends of the sewer line. They could not get through. There's a severe blockage with roots and probably some damaged lines in there. Another line, you can see a blockage here on the side. And this is a line that shows the grease buildup. So the water's backed up enough that you get grease buildup on the inside. So obviously some backup issues in that one.
Where were these all located? I know you said the one.
I don't know some of those photos exactly where they're at.
The grease line, I believe, is on Third.
Oh, okay,
Okay, that was on Third Street.
okay. But back to these maps. I know it's kind of hard to see.
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's all right. But if you can see the dark blue lines, these are some of the problem areas. And I know the scale is not very
Yeah.
clear. But you can see this is 6th Avenue. Here's Third. Here's another section of Third, 7th. And this is the little driveway alleyway that we connected to. That's the one the pipe just kept falling apart. Yeah.
Which line had the belly in it that we've got to pull up and reset the grade?
That is. That was in here. Oh. I think the belly is in this line here.
Okay.
And that is in the alley. Okay, yeah, between 9th and 8th Street.
From Ellen North,
What's that?
from Ellen North.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And actually, it extends down behind. Would that'd be the Tire Center and the vacant lot there, or that might be part of the Minute Mart area, but this area here, it actually has a severe belly in it, and should be fixed. So that was one of the lines that increased our cost because that's a full dig up and repair. So that's where ecology said, you better increase your budget, just make sure you get it all covered.
It was, Nathan has applied for a grant to allow us to rescan the lines that we had scanned in 2016.
That will be part of the overall project, yeah. So again, we had 1.5 million. And we're estimating about 20% of the lines would actually need a full reconstruct. Or at least sections that you have to go and dig up and repair before you can reline it. And so with that comes the cost of pavement restoration and anything else that's in the area, so. We have bumped it up to $2.5 million.
Fingers crossed we get it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It sounded pretty promising in the meeting, and even if we don't get the full amount from ecology, it sounds like there's other agencies that are looking to help.
Good.
But so that's the first step, see what happens with this application. And then, if there's any shortfalls, then we start talking to the other agencies. Because when we showed them some of the pictures, there was almost an audible gasp in the room. So,
Well, when you said they said, send the application back and resubmit it and up your number, I was like, that's not sounding, they know more than we.
well, they understand that there's some issues that need to be taken care of, and they would rather see the city take care of all of them rather than
Mhm,
do most of them and still have some problem areas.
which makes sense.
Any other questions for Ellen on this?
Roots, grease, and baby wipes.
Yes, those are big issues.
It's the
Big issues.
flushables, they're
Yeah.
just horrendous on the
Yep.
sewer system.
And so is laundry soap.
Yeah.
Can be.
Thank you, Ellen.
Thank you, Alan.
Thank you.
Thank you for putting up with the B team.
Okay,
I use
Thank
all
you.
natural soap.
Any other items for discussion? If not, we will adjourn the regular council meeting on November 5th, 2024. And we'll go to executive session, RCW 42.30.110. 1I and C and B, and we'll have another discussion in that city hall discussion. On another item too, we'll include in that with the city hall, so. Okay,
Time.
and let's meet back here at 8 o'clock and figure 35 minutes to get through those, hopefully.
Unfortunately, Mayor, they have a requirement when you use 1C that you have to state the quote factors that you would be
Okay.
using to consider. So
One C is the city hall, 1B is a discussion on the parkland on Carroll Street.
and the factors for the city hall discussion would be related to
We're gonna,
you-
one of the items we want to sell it for.
gotcha.
Okay.
And so the use and then potential
Yeah.
buyer use. Okay, very good. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Calling back to order,
Thing right there.
Penn City Council meeting,
Okay.
November 5th, 2024. Any additional items? Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Andrew,
Wadsworth, aye.
Great eye.
Alcazar, I.
Valencia.
Ferguson on.
Penn City Council meeting, 2024, November 5th,
I think you're
is hereby
I always want to do that.
over.
You guys have a good night.
Good
I
night.
will, I'll get you an answer.
Thank you.
We'll give him the ultimatum, Dave. And what, I just, dig a big hole up there and try to block it so it doesn't go off to the south, but like it's still going. Because it's going off to this property on the south side now.
You sneaking.
I've been up
Oh,
a
yeah.
temporary.
Bill on you.